All right. Hello, hello. How is everybody? Um, how's your day going so far? You getting a lot done? Do you have anything fun you're doing today? Let me know. And just let me know who's joining me. Just say hi if you're joining me live. And if you're watching the replay, just put hashtag replay. Um, so, how many of you experience symptoms like moodiness, stomach pain, bloating, headaches, lightheadedness, fatigue, stuff like that? How many of you experience that on a regular basis? Um, if you feel comfortable, put me in the comments if you experience those symptoms regularly. But we tend to think of these issues as normal, right? Like just normal. Oh, I ate something. Oh, I didn't sleep good last night. Whatever it is, and we think these things are normal um, because they're so common these days, right? Um, and the other reason we tend to think these things are normal is because the longer we live with them, the more adapted to these symptoms we become, right? And but the truth is that there are subtle signs your body gives you to try to get your attention, and that's what we're talking about today. What your body is trying to tell you by your symptoms. And I love to talk about this topic because I think a lot of times we ignore our symptoms or we just try to cover them up and we don't really deal with them. And I used to do this too. I was so guilty of this because we don't understand them and we just think, oh, well, everybody's dealing with this. This is normal. But the truth is, it's really not normal. We shouldn't have these symptoms, and if we do, uh, in order to live like a normal life, to feel good and have a healthy normal life, we want to get to the bottom of these symptoms, even if they're just nuisances, like minor nuisances, or just minor things that aren't that big a deal right now. Because if they keep happening, if you keep living with it, it can get worse and really develop into something bigger. And so that's why it's so important to listen to your body, listen to what it's telling you, what are the symptoms it's giving you, and why is your body giving you these symptoms. Um, so I want to tell a little story about myself, and how um, this really got me to start really paying attention to my symptoms and what my body was trying to tell me. So back in my early 20s, I started experiencing a lot of bloating and gas. Like I noticed it when I was like, I graduated, I was starting college and I was working and going to school and everything. And I was super busy, wasn't spending a lot of time at home anymore, wasn't spending a lot of time on my self care or my health or anything. It was all about work and school, work and school. I feel like that's all my life was. And I'm sure a lot of you can relate to that. And for a good 6 months or so, um, I dealt with it, and I was just hoping it would go away, but it didn't. I mean, it was just getting worse and worse, and it was getting to the point where it was really interrupting my life. I couldn't work. I couldn't sit in class. I felt so uncomfortable. I felt almost to the point of like being nauseous because I was having these really bad symptoms, like digestion issues and stomach issues. And what I didn't realize back then was that my body was trying to tell me that something wasn't right. And I just really thought it was, like I just wasn't eating right, and I wasn't taking care of myself. I was going through a lot of changes in my life because I was going from being a high school student to a college student and, all that stuff. So it was a big change. And I think it was stressful on me. And so I just kind of ignored it and I hoped it would go away. And I just didn't realize that, oh, my body is it's screaming at me. It's telling me, I'm having this symptom because of something I'm doing, right? Um, so I finally went to the doctor about it after it got like too unbearable. And they diagnosed me with IBS, irritable bowel syndrome. I'm sure you guys have heard of it. And I was just relieved. I was so relieved to finally know what it was and get some relief. And my doctor gave me medication and I started taking it. But after a while, the medication didn't work anymore. It didn't work as well. I was having these symptoms come back, bloating, gas, and and so I went back to the doctor, and the doctor just wanted to put me on a higher dose. I kept going back, like every 3 months or so, I would go back. And they just wanted to put me on more medicine, higher doses, switch the medicine, try this medicine, try that medicine, and um, and while I was grateful to have a diagnosis. I was grateful to the doctor for helping me figure out what was wrong and giving me some relief. I wanted to know how I could heal the IBS and not have to be on medicine for the rest of my life. That was the first time I ever really had to, like, I was told, you've got to take this medicine and this is the only thing that, we can do for it or whatever. And I was like, I don't want to be on this for the rest of my life. I don't want to have to keep going back and them upping my dosage or switching my medicine. I don't want to live like that. Like, I've never been that kind of person that wants to depend on that. So, what I always do in this situation, I started researching. I researched and read a ton of things about IBS and just educated myself. And that's when I discovered that IBS is totally reversible through lifestyle habits. And I didn't understand. I did not understand if I could figure this out with a simple Google search, then why wouldn't my doctor tell me this? Why wouldn't they give me that option uh, and say, hey, research has shown that you can reduce your stress and change your diet, and this can help with IBS. But instead, I never got any of that. I just got a prescription, you know, and so I just didn't get that. But anyway, needless to say, I took the information that I learned and I applied it to my lifestyle. Whatever, what I researched, what I Googled and read about, I applied it. And within a month, I was like 95% better. Like almost all of my symptoms went away. I rarely had a symptom anymore. And so that really changed that whole situation, really changed the way I thought about going to the doctor every time, something was wrong with me. So that's why I'm so big on holistic health and trying to heal the body and figure out, like, get to the root cause of your symptoms over just going to the doctor, because that experience just really changed me, and the way I look at going to the doctor, because I don't always, I guess they assume, or it's just easier, that they just give you a pill for everything. But, it would be nice they would, if they would give you an option, or at least tell you, hey, this can be healed with these lifestyle modifications, or I can give you this medicine. Give us a choice, that's all I'm saying. And then it's up to you whether you want to do the lifestyle or the medicine, or even both. And so that really just changed me and how I look at things. And now I just really, um, I really look at symptoms differently now. I look at them as, okay, I'm having this symptom. Why am I having this symptom all of a sudden? What am I doing differently? What causes this? And I just play detective, instead of me just first thing that I do, run to the doctor. I don't do that. I try to figure it out and try to heal it and get to the root issue. So anyway, that little story is why I kind of think the way I do. And that happened to me in my early 20s. And so I really do try to, come at it holistically first, and then I'm not against medicine. If I can't heal something holistically, if it doesn't just go away on its own, then yes, I'm totally for medicine or treatments or whatever. But I think, it's not something that I just want to do for the rest of my life if I don't have to, right? Like take medicine. So anyways, so the point of my story is we need to be listening to our body and using symptoms to give us clues as to what's going on, right? And just because your doctor doesn't tell you that your condition is reversible doesn't mean that you can't do your own research. You can do your own research and figure it out for yourself and uh, learn things they may not have told you. You don't have to leave your health 100% in their hands. You can do your own research. You can empower yourself. Um, you don't just have to accept only what the doctor tells you to do, is basically what I'm telling you. Because I don't know about you, but I don't want to take medicine for something that can be resolved through lifestyle, right? Through lifestyle habits. So let's talk about the two major warning signs your body gives you and what they mean. And then um, I'll also tell you how to recognize these warning signs before they get out of hand. So you can get to the root before they get out of hand. So when we have unpleasant symptoms, our body is telling us it's out of balance in some way. This is what symptoms mean. It means that our body is out of balance in some way and it's trying to get your attention. So maybe you get a mild headache regularly or stomach issues after you eat. These symptoms may be common, but they are signs that something bigger may be going on, especially if you're having them daily or weekly. It's something is going on in you, maybe a lifestyle thing, maybe something you're eating, maybe something you're coming in contact with is causing you to have these issues regularly. So here are two things your symptoms mean. The first thing, your body is sending you early warning signs of illness. So if you get a symptom, it could be an early warning sign for illness. And I don't mean like the cold or the flu or anything like that. I mean chronic health issues like IBS, high blood pressure, high blood sugar, lack of sleep, or a vitamin deficiency. And when you get to the root of what's causing the symptom, you can take steps to heal it, and that helps prevent or at least delay the health issue. So that is the first thing that symptoms are trying to tell you, that maybe you're, it's an early warning sign that you may be developing a chronic health issue or some kind of health issue. And then the second thing your body is trying to tell you by symptoms is that you're pushing yourself too hard. And I'm sure we've all, sorry, you guys. Sorry, I didn't silence it. Okay, so I know we've all experienced pushing ourselves too hard, and now it's showing up on my screen here. Okay. Um, we've all experienced pushing ourselves too hard and feeling that stress and that burnout, right? I know that we've all probably experienced that at least one time or another. And this one has a lot to do with how much you take on and your stress level. So, when you take on too much for too long, you can start to experience symptoms like burnout, depression, anxiety, moodiness, fatigue, or like lack of focus. Like you can't focus on what you need to be doing. And sometimes these start as a headache several times a week or feeling like you can never get enough sleep. How many of you have ever felt like that? Like no matter how much you sleep, you just can never get enough. And it can even show up as like sore muscles. And you're like, I don't even work out or I don't even lift weights. How are my muscles sore? Those are signs that you're pushing yourself too hard, you're too stressed, and you are burning out. And um, this can create symptoms. Okay. So when you stay stressed for too long, when you are burned out, you can have symptoms that just won't go away. And so now let's talk about how we can start to recognize the early warning signs. So then we can do something about it, right? And the first thing that I recommend is to start noticing the signals your body is giving you. The symptoms, the little differences that you didn't used to feel, right? So did you wake up with a headache? Did you have bloating after dinner? Are you snapping at people for no reason? If you have symptoms that are occurring regularly, I want you to try to notice a pattern with that, right? Like, how often are you having a headache? How often are you experiencing bloating? When are you experiencing these things? Like, is it after eating dinner? Is it after, is it when you wake up in the morning? What is the correlation? Is it happening at the same time every day? Is it happening on certain days when you're at certain places or whatever? Notice that, notice the pattern. And this will help you narrow it down and get to the root of what's causing it. So a lot of times we're just so busy that we don't think about like when these symptoms actually happen, right? We just like take some headache medicine or take some Pepto Bismol or whatever it is, and we just keep on going. But you know, you've got to start noticing that, and that is the first step to figuring out, what may be causing it, right? Um, so So we may just ignore them or, take something to get relief, like I said, but we don't want to do that. We don't want to keep doing that. And I'm not saying don't ever do it. Like you know, if you really have to get through like a meeting or, a day or whatever, yes. But if you're having to do that like daily or weekly, then it's something that you really need to pay attention to and start really trying to notice the pattern so you can figure out what's causing it. And then I would ask myself, what is it that I need to do to feel better? How can I feel better? Once I notice this symptom, uh, and I have noticed the pattern, now what can I do differently to start, you know, to start reversing this symptom or making myself feel better? so that I don't have the symptom anymore. So do I need to take some deep breaths, or do I need to drink some water? Maybe you're dehydrated. Maybe that's why you're getting headaches. You're not breathing enough. You're holding your breath, or you're not drinking enough water and you're getting dehydrated and it's causing a headache. It could be any of that. Maybe you just need 10 minutes to go for a walk and get some fresh air. A lot of times, that can help a headache or help, your stress level. Or is stress or a certain food causing you to have these symptoms? You can notice that pattern. Like if you're eating a certain food every day or every week or whenever it is, and you're noticing, hey, I'm having symptoms every time I eat this food. Um, that's a clue. That's a clue. You may have a sensitivity to a food. You may be allergic to a food and you didn't realize it because you never put that together. And so I want you to start noticing that. Like what is it that you may be uh doing that are causing these symptoms, and then what is it that you can do to feel better? A lot of people may have dairy allergies or gluten or anything like that, and even some people, like I'm very sensitive to bananas, which is a whole food, but my body for some reason does not like bananas. So I don't eat them that often because I don't want to have symptoms. I don't want to have a stomach ache. That's not worth it to me. Um, so so just think about that too. What is it that you can do to start feeling better? And then the third thing I would do is to think about how you want to feel instead. Do you want to feel energized when you wake up in the morning? What steps do you need to take to feel that way? How, if you want to feel good in the morning and not fatigued, and like like we talked about earlier, if you feel like you can never get enough sleep, what do you need to do? What do you need to change to feel the way you want to feel energized when you wake up in the morning? Um, you know, uh, maybe make some changes to your bedtime routine. That um, that can help with your sleep. Like if you can settle down earlier or calm yourself, like by taking a bath or practicing some meditation, or some deep breathing, or shut off your screens, and so you can be calmer, so you won't be so stimulated. Maybe that'll help you fall asleep earlier, and then you can get the sleep you need. Just go through that in your head and figure out, okay, what is it that I can do that's realistic, to help me to sleep better? Or, whatever your issue is, whatever your symptom is, go through that. What can I do to feel better? What is realistic? What is a realistic step I can do to help with this symptom I'm having? Um, so, do with the eating thing, do you want to feel full and satisfied after eating instead of gassy and bloated, like my story? If so, be mindful of the foods that make you feel your best, and also be mindful of the ones that cause stomach issues, or you know whatever issue you're having. Be mindful of that. Figure out that pattern. So, um, you know, have more of the feel good foods. Have the more of the foods that make you feel good and full and satisfied, and um, have the ones that cause you the problems less often. Those are like simple, practical things you can do. Like, I'm not saying, um, just because, okay, like like bananas and oatmeal and things like that cause my blood sugar to spike, and then I don't feel good, right? I can feel it. It doesn't feel good to me. I feel sluggish. I feel fatigued. That doesn't mean I cut them out. I just have them less often. I may have some oatmeal or a banana like once a month or even less than that. Um, it just depends because it's really not worth it to me to feel like that all day. Um, when I have so much I need to get done, I don't want to feel fatigued and sluggish and stuff like that. So you have to look at that too. Like when I'm on vacation, yeah, I might eat oatmeal with banana or raisins or something because I do like it, but but it causes me issues when like when I have to focus, I feel tired, I feel sluggish. So when I'm on vacation, I may eat that, and but on those days, I don't really have to focus on a lot. I'm just walking around and or at the pool or at the beach or something like that, and I don't need to feel focused or um, I don't have to worry about that on vacation. So I tend to like eat more oatmeal on vacation because then I don't feel, and I'm using those carbs too because uh, I'm active on vacation. So I hope that makes sense. But basically you want to think about how you want to feel and make that connection about like what can I do to feel better, what can I do to not feel the way I'm feeling anymore, what can I do to not have these symptoms anymore. So uh, hopefully that makes sense. So I want you to start paying attention to these symptoms that your body gives you. Because if you ignore them or just try to cover them up, your body will eventually start screaming at you. That's what it'll start doing. It'll start screaming at you, and a lot of times it's in the form of a chronic health issue. So, um, listen to your symptoms, get ahead of them. Don't ignore them. Don't just try to cover them up. Really listen to them so they don't turn into something later on. And once you learn to listen to your body, you can learn a lot from what it's trying to tell you, and just like in my story, I had to learn what my body was trying to tell me. And I turned it around with lifestyle habits. With IBS, it was mostly my stress level and my eating habits. And those are the two things that I had to really pay attention to and create new habits around for me to start feeling better. And yeah. And so this right here, listening to your body, being more mindful and all that, that is just one of the skills that I teach my clients, my one-on-one clients. And I teach them to be more mindful of their symptoms, so that they feel in control of their health, right? I teach them mindful eating so they can feel more satisfied with their food and not have so many symptoms, because when we're more mindful when we eat, then we don't get things like heartburn and gas and bloating and feel the need to snack as much. And so these are things that I teach my one-on-one clients. I coach them on. And so if you're interested in learning more about what it would be like to work with me, I will leave you a link in the comments to sign up for a free strategy call with me. And what this call is we will discuss one of your symptoms. So if you have a symptom that you're dealing with right now, we can set up a time to talk and we will go over that symptom. You can tell me about what's going on with you. I'll ask you questions and I will give you some advice on what I think may be causing it or what you may need to try to do differently. Um, to help with this symptom, to help relieve the symptom and heal it. So that's what I offer, and I will put that link below, like I said. Anyways, I hope you guys have a great day and a great week, and I will see you next week. All right, bye.